What's going on, guys? In this video, I'll answer the question that I get asked the most. How can I grow my chest? A lot of people see me, first thing they notice is my chest. And yes, I have been genetically blessed for my chest, but also I did a lot of things that helped me grow it, alright? So we gotta take in consideration the genetics, but then we can't just be, well, I've got bad genetics, so I'm not gonna do anything. No, there's always things that you can do to maximize your genetic potential. Alright, so let's jump straight into it, how to grow your chest. I've got a few notes written down. Number one is performing the exercises properly. I'm sorry, I took a little rest. I saw my cat is lying on the floor just like this, a little bit funny. So performing the exercises properly. Make sure that your technique is proper, all right? Make sure you've got a good technique. A lot of people are benching, but they're not doing it correctly. They're not really targeting their chest. They're really benching, but focusing on the momentum and moving the weight fast. And they end up working a lot their triceps, their shoulders. A lot of people, they're doing their flies, but they feel nothing on their chest. So that's where you gotta step back and make sure that you're prioritizing your technique and performing the exercises correctly. And trust me, guys, I've been training for over 13 years, and still to this day, I tweak up my form. Still to this day, I adjust a lot of things. The other day I was squatting, and I'm like, you know what? This just doesn't feel as well on my quads. I feel a lot more on my lower back and my glutes. So let me just adjust some things. Brought my feet down, opened up my hips a bit. Well, there you go. I'm feeling a lot more quads. So it's always good to consider your form, and don't think it's something that you get it once and you're done. The technique is something that takes time to learn, and it takes time to also it changes with time. It can change with time, and a lot of times we get caught into ego lifting. The technique gets compromised, so bring that back and always making sure you've got a perfect technique. Now, you don't want to become a technique science expert where if nothing is perfect, you don't want to become a perfectionist where you don't do the exercise because it's not 100% perfect. But always keep in mind that your technique has to be prioritized, because trust me, you'll feel it a lot better when your technique is better. All right. So that was the first thing I'm straight out top of my head, the cable crossover, for example. It's rare for me to see someone doing it right. Let's not go far. The push-up, I see people doing push-ups, but all they're moving is their triceps and shoulders, and they get zero chest engagement. All right, so optimize your technique, get back to the roots, and make sure that it's always in the back of your mind before adding weight. All right, so that's number one. Tip number two would be slow it down. Slow down the repetition, especially on your way down. We love pressing heavy weights, right? But nobody loves taking their time on the way down, because we want to press, we want to go heavier. And when we go slower, well, it becomes harder. So we want to increase the weight, which means going faster and doing reps faster. All right. The muscles don't know the reps you've done. The muscles don't count reps. All right. But the muscles contract under tension. There's something called time under tension. All right. Your muscles contract under tension, and we gotta keep a good. I don't want to get too much in the details, but studies will say that it's in between 30 and 70 seconds of time under tension while getting your muscles to failure. Now, you don't have to count those seconds, but think about that. We have two people, one guy doing a bench press and doing his reps like this, 225 for 10, and the other guy is doing 225 for 10, but he's taking his time. Boom. Taking his time, 2 seconds on the way down. So guy number two, he spent maybe 40 seconds because every rep was taking him, let's say, a second and a half, 40 seconds for those 10 reps at least. And the other guy that was just doing 1 second each rep, it took him 10 seconds to perform that whole set. Who do you think has more results? Both of them did 10 reps of 225. Who will have more results? Obviously, the guy that spent longer under tension, all right? So don't neglect the time under tension. Don't just focus on reps, but also focus on slowing down the movement and making sure that you're controlling it on the way down. This is called tempo, all right? I don't want you also to slow it down too much. There's extremes in everything. It's crazy, right? There's extremes in the techniques that want it perfect. There's extremes in the guy that will slow down everything. There's extreme in everything. Don't be the extreme, but keep it in consideration, all right? Keep it in the consideration. It's a good balance of everything. Moving on. Tip number three, something that is pretty weird to hear, but I would say don't bench first, all right? Why I say that? Because I see a lot of people, they just get to the gym, they move their shoulders a bit. All right, warm-up is done. Put those 225 and let me bench. Guess what? Your chest is not ready yet. What happens is that now you don't feel your chest because your chest hasn't really been turned on, hasn't been activated. All right, and when you're benching, the first movements that will get stimulated are your triceps and shoulders. So you end up not getting to that chest part. You end up not getting your chest as much tension and stimulus, but rather you feel it mostly on your shoulders and triceps. All right, so what I would like you to do is do a little isolation movement for your chest first, just to kind of turn it on, bring some blood flow in there. It could be the chest fly, it could be a push-up, it could be anything that doesn't necessarily mean doesn't necessarily need to be something intense, just something that brings blood. I remember John Meadows, may his soul rest in peace, I saw one of his videos. He had elastics and he was just squeezing with elastics just to get blood in there, and this will activate and turn on that muscle. Now you're ready to bench. All right, so you can bench second or third or whatever order, but don't bench first. Make sure that that chest is turned on. Also, it's gonna prevent you a lot of injuries. All right, so what I do is I do chest cable flies first. I really love doing a pec deck fly first, just to get a lot of blood in my chest first, warm up that tendon, warm up my joint, and connect better with my chest as I'm benching. It's gonna help you better connect with your chest later on once you're benching. Moving on, number 4, keep it simple and stick to the exercises that work. A lot of people want to change things too much. Hey, I've been doing this program for 4 weeks, now I gotta incorporate other exercises. Why? Don't you feel them well? Aren't you progressing? So just keep progressing on them. Progressively overload on the exercises that work. All right, the exercises that work are few. It's not 100 million variety that we need to do. All right, find something good for your upper chest, a good press for your upper chest, whether it's a dumbbell or a barbell, a flat barbell or dumbbell press, a kind of an inclined fly and a kind of a straight fly. And then you can add a body weight like push-ups or dips. There you have it, a chest program. And now progressively overload on them. Do you think that the pros and Ronnie Coleman and the best athletes in the world, they change their program every day? Not really. They stick to what works. They put all their eggs in that basket, all right? I know we say, well, don't put all your eggs in this basket, but in this case, you want to stick to what works. Trust me, my leg workouts, my chest workouts, I don't change them. I get better at the exercises that work, and I make sure that I'm improving my technique, my weight, maybe more time under tension. That's how you progressively overload. Doesn't necessarily always need more weight. All right, so that's another thing to take in consideration. Keep it simple. Don't try to reinvent the wheel, and don't overcomplicate stuff, and don't change programs every day. Moving on. Number 5, focus on the muscle and not on the weight. That's a very, very, very underrated point, because we all do it. I do it as well. I always want to end up ego lifting. And the gym humbles me, life humbles me. Thank God I'm very sensitive to injuries in a way where, not to injuries, but as soon as I feel like something is a little bit off and I'm starting to ego lift, it's like if my body tells me right away. Just a few examples. The other day, I pinched my nerve in my neck. My shoulder is a little bit annoying me, but this is my body sending me signs like, hey, you're ego lifting, you're pushing a little bit more heavier than you should. And a lot of times I focus a lot of times when I'm trying to push heavier, that's what happens. And guess what? Pushing heavier doesn't necessarily mean more gains. All right, and we all get caught up in this, especially with chest. We want to bench heavy. We want to incline press the 130 pounds that nobody touched. We want to put the 4 plates on the side. We want to impress everyone. But guess what? It's not doing much for your chest. All right, your chest don't care about the weight you're using. All right, as long as you're getting your chest to failure with a good rep range, good time under tension, controlling the weight well, the good mind-muscle connection, that's all you need. So whether you're using 50s or 100 pounds dumbbells, the outcome can be the same, and you can prevent yourself from a lot of injuries. All right, so don't just focus also on moving the weight from point A to point B, but focus on that mind-muscle connection. Connect with your muscles, get inside those muscles, and ask yourself, am I feeling my chest? Am I feeling my left? Am I feeling my right? Try to squeeze it. Try to get in your lats when you're doing pull downs. A lot of people do lats and they don't even feel them. That's why they have very tiny lats, but they have big biceps because they're pulling with their arms. All right, so get in that muscle, the mind-muscle connection. That's the internal focus. All right, instead of just focusing on moving the weight from point A to point B and benching from the bar up and down, get that focus more internally. Get inside that muscle, connect with it. Connection, mind-muscle connection. Underrated point, all right, the mind-muscle connection. And number 6, master the push-ups. Push-ups, guys. I love push-ups. I'm a big fan of push-ups, and guess what? A lot of people don't do them well. A lot of people neglect them, whereas your push-ups is one of the best exercises for your chest. Don't neglect your push-up. And you know what? If your chest is lacking, you can start doing push-ups every single day. It's just gonna help you improve, bring more blood flow. It's called feeder workouts. Push-ups every single day before bed. Get more blood flow in the area. Will help you recover. All right. Feel your chest better, connect better with it, and just get a lot of blood, a lot of oxygen, a lot of nutrients, which will create an environment for growth. All right, but push-ups, keep them also as a staple in your chest workouts. You don't want to be neglecting your push-ups because they are a great exercise. Make sure you're controlling your way down and up. Make sure that you're using your chest as you're pushing the floor away. All right, and yeah, you know, when I'm doing my chest workouts, most of the time I do easily 200-300 push-ups because it's something that I incorporate as an add-on. Let's say I finish my bench press, I'll jump on the floor and I'll do sets of push-ups to failure. All right, so things like that. I really love the push-ups, and I think it's one of the best chest movements. And that's for this video. Hopefully you learned a few things. Leave a like, leave a comment. Thank you all for the support, and I'll see you guys soon. Ciao.